Hello, everybody. Season 3, Episode 11. A little bit late, but you'll find out why when we do the podcast and what's been going on the last 10 days. So, a few things we hit up today. First one, on the topic of, I talk about choose your own adventure books. If you don't know what that is, go and research it before you listen to this podcast. Anyway, we talk about the housing market and the changes, seemingly weekly, and it being like a choose your own adventure book. Okay. Second thing we talk about is the demise of FairSquare, previously owned by Purple Bricks, previously owned by a company I couldn't even remember the name, but the for sale by owner big company is no longer. Okay, so they've been shut down. We talk about the reason for that and what it means in the economy. And then finally, I just give you an update as to what's going on in my world. So last podcast, I announced that I moved on into mortgage broker, mortgage agent world. And I just give you a bit of an update as to what's going on and how it's going. And not a lot of suspense here, guys. It's going friggin' amazing. Anyway, Season 3, Episode 11. Let's do it.
Welcome to the Green Effect Podcast. Finance, life, business, and everything in between. And now, your host, Stephen Green.
Hello, everyone. Episode 11, Season 3. I'm sorry, I was a little bit late getting this out, and we're going to talk about the reason for that in just a moment. We need to delve into what the hell is going on in the housing market. Like, on the topic of, and I don't know, I'm probably going to age myself here a little bit, but on the topic of choose your own adventure. So I don't know, if you're under like 35, do you even know what those books were? Remember the books where, I don't know, maybe 100 pages long, and the author, a genius. You start at the beginning and you get to choose your own adventure. You could spend like days on that book because you'd choose a different thing or a different adventure in almost every chapter. It was crazy. Well, that's kind of what the housing market is. It's like choose your own adventure books from back in the 80s. So, man, where do we even start with this? So, the last week and a half, 2 weeks, we've had this just surge of volume of folks that they want to buy. They're coming out of the woodwork, or in my case, like I've spoken to them over the last year or two, and now they're coming to the surface wanting to now buy something. And it's just been busy putting through pre-approvals and stuff like that. And I think what we're seeing out there right now is, and I talk about this all the time, there's kind of hope. There's hope. The rates are not going to go up another 8%. I know they haven't gone up that much, but you know what I mean. There's actual hope of stability. We seem to be settling into our new rate normal of 5s and 6s or whatever the rates happen to be based on the product that you're getting. So we're starting to see this kind of influx of people. Is it short-lived? I don't know. But I will say this, here in the Waterloo region, where we have, believe it or not, we have less than a month of inventory right now. So months of inventory is really important, and it's an indicator of where the market is, whereby if you stopped listing homes today, how long would it take to sell out all of your listings? So at the height of the market, 2021, 2022, the Waterloo region, as an example, was running at 2 weeks, which is insanity. I don't think we've ever seen that before. Now we're down to under a month because what's happened is people have not sold. People's houses maybe dropped in value. They're like, I'll wait. Why do I have to sell right now? People have been on the sidelines. Maybe people that could afford it, but we're waiting for housing Armageddon to happen where everything crashes, and nothing has crashed. Canadians have floated the boat for all these months. So we have this pent up supply and demand issue that we, the market, not anyone in particular, but we are creating. And so this influx of buyers that's coming in right now is going for a bunch of houses that are not available. So all the buyers coming in, nothing for sale. Here we are, right back to where we started in 2021 and 2022. So we're going to see how this plays out, but we're hearing, 10 offers on a house. We're hearing 20 offers on a house, and this is not unique to Kitchener-Waterloo. Just down the street in London, they have much more inventory. Okay, so they're up around, I think, 3.9, 3.8 months of inventory, but on a smaller scale, they're usually a little bit behind the Kitchener-Waterloo Cambridge market. They are experiencing 4 offers, 5 offers on a house. So that is starting. So I'm very certain, if I had to bet like $2 on this, we're probably going to see a supply and demand issue rolling down the 401 as well. So, it's like you damned if you do, damned if you don't with this. And I think Tiffy Boy, my BFF up at Bank of Canada, I almost for like a nanosecond felt sorry for the guy because he can't win this. He can't raise rates much more, if at all, because he can't afford his own debt. The government can't afford their own debt. It's like someone hitting their head against the wall and saying, "Man, I'm hitting my head against this brick wall and I have a headache, but I don't know why." You can't win this. And if he drops rates, our Canadian dollar is going to plummet against the US greenback. So he can't win this. The only thing he can do is wait and see what happens, because I feel inflation, what he can control, he has controlled. There's nothing else we can do here. He can't control food. He can't control fuel. He can't. I mean, hey, please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but he doesn't have control. Galen Weston wants to charge $8 for a loaf of bread. He can charge $8 for a loaf of bread. So and people will buy it because they have to survive. And I don't know if you've been to a restaurant lately, if you can afford to go to a restaurant for like $24 chicken wings, but they're pretty, I don't want to say empty, but volumes are down. And believe me, the staffing goes with it. There's not a lot of staff in some of these restaurants. It's a perfect storm of crap, right? And I think the only thing we can do is wait from a Bank of Canada standpoint. Coming back to the housing market, man, I honestly think you're going to see homes increase in value over this spring. It is very simple supply and demand principles. Low supply, high demand, cost of goods goes up. Arguably, you could say that about the grocery stores. People are eating out less. I know we do, right? I'm doing this recording on a long weekend. I can tell you right now, we went out once. Years past, we'd go out more because we'd be out at a mall, we'd be at the market, whatever. Hey, let's stop in for a bite to eat. No, we went out once this weekend. Everything else was cooked at home, right? We cooked a big meal one day, leftovers next. That's supply and demand. We had to go to the grocery store twice this weekend. Sometimes we would forget because we were eating out. So, to put things in perspective in the housing market, hope with rates and the prospect that rates will probably come down on the fixed side in particular, and you've got hope. We have hope this is going to get better. We have hope that little Susie and Jack can buy their first house, right? By the way, Jack and Diane, I like that song. I don't know why. It's just one of my favorite songs, just in case anyone's planning a birthday gift for me. Anyway, it's, we're going to see what happens. We're going into an unknown, folks. I still believe in my heart of hearts, and I want to explain this when we're talking about housing in Canada. Okay? And believe me, what I'm about to say is sarcasm, and I'm going to back it up with what I feel and what it really means. Never a good time to buy a house. Never. And what that means is there's always something. The rate's too high. The rate's too low. The price is too high. The price is too low. The house is not the right color. Come up with whatever you want. It's never a good time, but it is. Like when you find, if the circumstances line up properly, it's affordable. You're in a good place with your jobs. You've got stability. You're not overly leveraged. You found the house that works. Plans going forward work. Buy the damn house. Too many people, I feel, delay, 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 and they just make it worse for themselves. And so, my message here, if I can bring maybe this whole podcast into perspective, I think when we're talking about the current state of housing, if you've been properly planned by a mortgage professional and it makes sense, buy the damn house. What are we waiting for? If it doesn't make sense, and listen, I'll tell you, I would say over the last couple of weeks, I've been doing more. I made this quote, and you can trademark this if someone could help me do that. That would be great. I made a quote in a couple of meetings. We're no longer mortgage agents, mortgage brokers. We're not. We're mortgage planners. We plan people's mortgage financing going forward. We get a lot of clients come in that need help. They're not ready. They don't understand the process. There's assumptions. Mom and dad have told them things that are 30 years old and don't apply anymore. Our jobs are mortgage planners. And so if you have seen a proper mortgage professional, it makes sense, go for it. Buy the house. Don't wait. You're never going to win. It's never a great time to buy a house. In the same breath, if you are thinking of buying, get in and get planned out. Does it make sense? Is it a good time? What do I need to do to buy a house soon or sometime in the future? Okay, so we're seeing a lot of that as well come across our desk. I think it's important that clients understand that, there's a lot of kind of planning that goes into it. All right, enough of that. Let's get into some news, some noteworthy news items, rapid fire stuff. So, one thing that happened this past week, which really interesting actually, Purple Bricks. It used to be Purple Bricks, then it became like FairSquare Group. A few years ago, it was named something else. It kind of moved owners and people bought it and stuff like that. But they be out of business, man. So Purple Bricks or whatever it was called now, FairSquare, is what we call a for sale by owner program. So in other words, if you don't want to use a real estate agent, a real estate professional, you can use this company to do the bare basics to list your house. That way you don't pay a commission to the real estate agent. Now, in years past, at the height of the market, people were doing this a lot more because, like, let's face it, the height of the market, you could throw up a cardboard box, put a bouquet of flowers outside the box, and boom, $500,000. But, you know, was it ever a good idea? I mean, unless you were professionally trained as a real estate agent, it isn't always a good idea. And I think some real estate boards, really struggled to deal with it because as a real estate agent, as a professional, to have to, negotiate with someone selling their house that wasn't a real estate agent, you can just imagine the risk, having to have a conversation with someone that's not also in your field, or liability if they think you took advantage of them or whatever. So it's definitely a tricky one. And some of these for sale by owners wouldn't even allow realtors to come to their house, right? So the reason why they went out of business is the downturn of the market. There just isn't enough business to be had. And so now I think we're maybe down to one company, and then a bunch of probably little boutique type, they call them FISBOs, or for sale by owner. But yeah, Purple Bricks, FairSquare, and man, I can't remember what they were called before that. It was like it was an orange logo of some sort. Anyway, they're out of business. So if you want to sell your house on your own, you're kind of on it on your own go to Home Hardware and get a for sale sign and write your phone number on it, magic marker, and put it outside. People always ask me, is it a good idea to do this? And I put it this way. This is the way I put it. If you needed brain surgery, okay, what would you do? Would you go to someone who's never done it before because it's easier, or would you get a professional to do it? I listen, when you use a real estate agent, I can attest to the fact that in a market like we're in right now, someone I know very well always says this: we're in a skill-based market right now. Okay, it's tough. You gotta market, you gotta negotiate, you gotta understand what's going on. Is it a great idea to use these guys, or sell it on your own? Hey, I like adventure too, but it doesn't always end out well, right? So at the end of the day, I think it really comes down to, same as mortgage brokers, agents, professionals, whatever. It really comes down to the person you're working with. If there's value in working with the person, price is important, but not the end thing. If you can work with a real estate agent and they charge you X number of dollars, but they do an amazing job and get more money for your house, pay the money. Same as a mortgage agent, right? If the person can plan things out and do things for you, but maybe their rate is an extra, point one, is it worth it to go somewhere else? And that's where rate's important, or commission is important, but it's not the end result. So something definitely to think about. In other news, okay, so let's look at some other things here. Let's talk about me. So I'm now a mortgage agent. I am loving the gig, let me tell you. I just wanted to share an update as to what's going on with me and our business and stuff like that. Like, I'll be honest with you folks, this is something that, as exciting as mortgages get, it's exciting. I think being able to really, truly plan people's financial mortgage lives with various lenders, and the ability to solve problems with multiple options available is nothing I ever thought this would be in such a good way. It's truly it's a difference. It feels good. I feels good talking to clients where I can just say yes a lot more often. And I think also too, from a business building perspective, you can truly be a business owner. And I think that's probably the one thing I'm enjoying the most. I can manage my business. And again, I am not slighting the company I was with. They were incredible to me. However, I will say, for someone like myself who has that very much entrepreneurial spirit, this is like invigorating. There you go. That's the word for the day. Invigorating. So, anyway, it's going super well. Loving the conversations. I love the support. Like, my social media is obviously very different now. Now that I don't have a bank brand to really manage expectations there. But thank you for the support. I mean, we've had new clients come in, we've had existing clients, new referral sources, existing referral sources that have really stuck with their support of me, and the new brand and the new business. And honestly, thank you to everybody. We promise we won't let you down. We definitely built this transition so that we didn't let anybody down. We can get stuff done, right? So we're here for you. Shameless plug time. Make sure you visit our website, www.thefinancialcollective.ca. Okay? Because we couldn't find a domain with a longer, more complicated title, so we went with that one. Again, www.thefinancialcollective.ca. Anyway, hope you guys found this great. Remember, 5 stars and amazing reviews, and share and love. And remember, at the end of the day, for the housing market and everything else in life, It's all about hope. Hope, hope, hope. Talk to you soon.
Thank you for listening to the Green Effect Podcast. Subscribe to this podcast on iTunes or Google Play so you catch the next episode. And don't forget to leave a review. Much appreciated.